how's it feel rooming with probably the most known guy at UCI, bro?
This guy's not the same person as he was 2 years ago.
What's one piece of advice you'd give to high school students or freshman students for pre-med?
These guys will see me like be active in the frat, you know, like hang out with them, but then some days I'll just ghost for a week. I literally just start growing a beard. I go to Gateway till like 4 a.m. almost like every day.
If I had a girl who's like wanting to go out and eat and get boba like each and every day, like they'd probably get bored and like leave me or go cheat, but it's like they don't relate to my diet. And I go, what was the whole deal? Why didn't you want to room with me? Yeah, why didn't you want to room with me? If you want to solve 99% of your problems in life, go to bed early. How would you describe this year, 2024, and what are you hoping for in 2025? Yo, what is up, guys? I'm JT, your host of another episode of What's Pumpin'. I'm here with a very special guest, Cam Islamian. I've known this guy for 3 years, and we're gonna dive deep into the world of business and pre-med.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. You want to give the people a quick little intro on where you're from,
Of course.
what do you do, all that good stuff?
All right, like you said, my name's Cam Islamian, and I'm from San Diego, California, raised in a big Persian family, and now I'm here studying pre-med at UCI with this guy. But yeah.
It's been quite the journey, not gonna lie. Bro, so when did we meet, honestly? What's your first memory of me, first off?
First memory has to involve the fraternity, obviously. I mean, we met through there, same pledge class, but I really see us getting a lot closer. I saw us get a lot closer on our car rides down to SD, because he's actually from SD as well. Yeah,
I'm like 30 minutes more down south, so, I mean, yeah, honestly, I already know my first impression of you.
Dude, you can say it.
So we're just playing some games. We're playing Slevins, and I'm just like, dude, this guy is like, who is this kid? He's just like, just the energy he brought, and it was just like, he was just about it, and I was just like, damn, like, this kid's lit, and I'm like, bro, like, if you know anything about Slevins, like, he just kept saving people. He was like, damn, he's a team player, like, I know you get to know this kid, right? And it was at the end of, like, our first week here at UC Irvine, and I'm just like, yo, like, this kid is, I don't know, he just brought different energy, right? So, I mean, obviously, as, like, the quarter went on, and, like, we both ended up joining the fraternity. He's my P-bro, if you know anything about Greek life or whatnot. Yeah, we got close, I would say, from the car rides. I feel like first year we didn't really talk much because it was mainly you and one of our other P-bros, Faris. We were kind of just, like, because I know I kicked it with my roommates a lot, especially, like, Nick, because he's both biz admin. We had, like, the same schedule or whatnot. I'm pretty sure, like, that's how it was your year. Bro, I'd meet this guy, if you know anything about, like, this guy was a dining hall whore. Like, this guy would always be in the dining hall. He's always the dining hall, bro. It was, like, actually, bro, my first year, his nickname was Mr. Eats, because
that's it.
Eatery. Like, Mr. Eats, like, this guy was just camping out, like, certified fat ass, but no, I was actually like jokes or whatnot. But
let me preface this guy is not the same person as he was 2 years ago. To be honest, my first year, I was closer to some other guys in the pledge class. I still am. I don't want to obviously put them down, but yeah, I'm really close with them still. But this guy, he's changed so much. I remember my first year, I kind of like, not look down upon him, but I was like, yeah, he's a cool friend, but like, I never really brought you into my circle until recently, because you changed a lot, and like, we're probably gonna get into a lot of that today. So I'm excited to do that.
Yeah, so it was mainly like, all right, weekend parties, like eatery, I'll come by, say what's up. But I feel like living our second year in the fraternity house, like just a hall, like a couple feet away, kind of game changer or whatnot. And then now we're actually roommates. So yeah,
we're actually roommates.
If you guys guessed it, if you guys didn't know, he's my roommate. We ran back the fraternity house this year for a second year in a row. Both third-year undergraduates, but I mean, bro, so what was the whole deal? Why didn't you want to room with me? Yeah, why didn't you want to room with me your second year?
So yeah, so just to give you guys a little rundown, my second year, I got two people asking me, can I be your roommate? And one of them was like this math geek who I knew he would just lock in with school. And then we have this guy who just it was crazy. I don't know if I want to say everything here about what he's done, but
just basically typical business major.
Just like someone, I kind of saw him as like a big distraction, and especially moving into a fraternity house with distractions everywhere, living with 18 guys. My first year, I lived with someone from China, so he was a very different person compared to if I was gonna live here, a fraternity house with 17 other people. So I was like, at first, I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. And then like, now that I committed to that, committing to be roommates with Jay would be a whole different thing. That'd just be 0 to 100. So I was like, you know what? I'll pick the math geek. His name's Alejandro. He's not the most frat guy, so I was like, you know what, like, my own room will be my own home to study with him. So yeah, but then moving into my third year, I got really close with Jay, and I realized that he's just not some freakish dude who always just goes to the gym and, you know, he's just a character, you know. So
yeah, I'm just a character.
Eventually, I was just like, you know what, like, I'll be his roommate. And it's funny because this year we did a completely different layout because I didn't want to do the typical layout where our beds are kind of like we could like, I don't know, how would you say it, like.
Yeah, so it's like a traditional double. You're gonna have both beds kind of like this, but we ended up like, he basically like, you walk into our dorm, first half is my room. It's blocked off by our dressers, and then on the other side of his dressers is his bed and then his desk and everything.
We basically divided it, so like I didn't want to fully like be like this guy's roommate, so I kind of like made 2 half rooms, but like yeah, no, I love the guy. I don't know why I'm like kind of like yeah, this guy's crazy. You know, I love the guy. But yeah, I'm excited to be his roommate. We've already made a ton of memories, and
I mean, you're not wrong though. Like I am pretty. I feel like in order to make it in life, you do gotta be somewhat insane, somewhat different. You gotta like, one of one is like the way I like to put it. But this guy's one of one too. Like you're a character in different ways, and I feel like rooming with you and getting close to you, like we do take so much from each other's life, which is crazy. Because at the end of the day, like we were even talking about it this morning over coffee, how like even though we're not exactly the same person, the differences is what makes us like kind of all the much more closer, because I can take something from his life and the way he lives his life, like being pre-med is completely different from the way that like I see business and like our different like career. But like at the end of the day, like that's something we can dive deep into like later. But I mean, damn bro, it's been quite the past 3 years. It feels like it went by in the blink of an eye, and it's crazy because I don't know if I kind of want to say this early on, but this guy might be out of here soon. So word on the street is if he keeps his straight A's, he'll probably be out of here this year, which is big props to you, bro.
Yeah,
honestly, like that's something like, it's funny because we're on different sides of the spectrum. This guy's like on his track to potentially graduate early, his third year. I'm over here like trying to like decommit. Like I'm over here trying to like drop out and shit. Like trying to like pursue my business full throttle. I'm like, I think about it every day, but I mean, we can only focus on the present, and now we're filming this podcast right now, so I'm gonna appreciate every moment I have with this guy. Enough of the boyfriend talk, unless you want to add on to it.
I remember like growing up, I watched so many podcasts, and like I know this guy had his whole podcast thing, and I've never done one before, but we have all these talks all the time, so this should feel pretty natural to me, you know, just have to put the camera away and just zone in on this, but yeah. I'm excited to get into the questions and everything you have for me today.
Essentially, so the way our dynamic worked, long story short, we weren't terribly close our first year, kind of just like occasionally like through the frat or whatnot. But then since we both live in San Diego, all our car rides down for Thanksgiving break, spring break, we basically had 2-hour podcasts each time. We went up and back, and we would talk, we'd do debriefs. Like that's the type of shit I love and value about our brotherhood. And like honestly, like it's actually pretty insane. So I feel like this definitely does feel like natural. It's just dead ass like in front of a camera. So cut him some slack if he stutters. I mean, this isn't like, you know, episode 7. I've been trying to get this guy on here. Like I'm telling you, like I feel like one of the main reasons I was able to convince you to like not even just come like on this podcast with me, or like being able to convince you to room with you, was because I hopped on the 75 hard. Like just me for like 4 months ago compared to who I am now. Like I know I had to like prove myself to this guy to like be able to like, you know, but it's kind of funny because I mean, we both go through different periods in life. Like for example, like apparently like you took summer classes, that way you can lighten the load for this quarter, and for me it's like I was on a different grind. But now it's like, now that I'm incorporating school, I'm like a little bit busier, much like I don't have less like leeway for wasting time unless it's like for the weekends. But I mean, aside from that, let's get into some questions, bro.
Let's do it. I'm excited.
This guy, if you're out there, if you're young, if you're a senior in high school, first year, Persian, this guy is a great role model, all right? He's a great role model. Personally, I could never do pre-med, but
I feel like he's been glazing me for like 10 minutes now.
That's crazy. All right, enough of the glazing. Let's get into the facts. First off, what inspired you to pursue a career in medicine, bro?
Career in medicine. So what really inspired me was just kind of growing up around a lot of doctors, and I don't know. I'd go to all these Persian parties, see these like professional like Persian dads and uncles and like other family members, and like they were all doctors and stuff. And then I just was kind of like not pushed towards there, but I was always like offered, you should do it. Like it really worked out for me. Like I'm willing to help you, and I had a lot of family and backup to help me out. And then so ever since then I just came into college as a bio major, and then now I'm here as a third year. I'm about to walk out of here. At the end of my third year, I'm still like debating if I want to do that yet or not. But yeah, there's not really much else to be honest.
Are you like passionate about it at least? Because like I've told you this before. Like bio is my favorite subject. I can't do chem, I can't do physics. Like if I could, like I would just emphasize in like sports medicine. That's the type of stuff I love. I love researching compounds. I love researching like science-based lifting. Like it does interest me. Like I'm not gonna go full throttle into it, but biology is like essentially like I love health and fitness, and it kind of like bleeds into that realm. So are you passionate about like what you're learning about? Like you can be completely honest, bro.
To be completely honest, like it really interests me. I watch Andrew Huberman. Like there's a clip of me. These guys always like sometimes barge in my room and like I'm sleeping and I'll be listening to Andrew Huberman. He's really inspiring because he just like talks about every single topic, whether it goes to sleep, fitness, or mental health or all that. I'll just like listen to his full-length podcast as if it's like a lecture and just fully like take notes in my head. So I find that really interesting, and yeah, I'm interested to see what's coming. People always ask me like, Cam, like you're pre-med, like can you answer this and this question? But like I feel like you won't really know how to answer those questions until you're in med school, because right now I'm just taking like physics classes and stuff. But it's a little funny little joke.
It's funny because like I feel like in some areas, at least when it comes to lifting, I feel like I know a little bit more than you. Like for example, like just like little stuff. Like an example is like, oh, sweating doesn't equal burning more calories. Like if anything, like being cold and like shivering makes you burn more calories, and like just little stuff like that. Like even this guy, like I kind of like I want to take part in like, bro, I kind of helped him like kind of like either like I know he's going through like this shoulder injury, but like also like in terms of diet and like nutrition and like hitting your macros, or like what's the best lift for this and that. Like I'm a nerd when it comes to that stuff, but in terms of like the general like grand scheme of themes, like dude, I'm sorry, but like I'm not gonna memorize. Like I pulled up to his lecture once in ALP with Forrest, and like they were learning about like organisms in the ocean. I'm just like, dude, I know. I'm glad I'm business, which still not what I'm fully passionate about. Entrepreneurship is my route, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, good shit, bro.
To be completely honest,
you have my respect.
A lot of the classes here are just like a weeding system for people going pre-med, because there's so many people who like say they're pre-med, but a lot of bio majors, a lot of people with different majors want to go to med school, but it takes a lot of dedication, it takes a lot of time, and like to focus on your classes along with focus on everything else that has to go on in life is really difficult. That balance is really key. And it's funny because like a lot of the classes you learn, I'm not gonna say they're like not really worth it, but they don't really interest me. Like for example, we took a class on like ecology and evolution, and it's like I feel like that's not something that I really lean to. So I feel like you're gonna take a lot of classes as a pre-med of stuff you're not really that interested in, but they're just required classes you have to take. And it really comes down to who can get the good grades in those classes, even though you're not interested in them. And yeah, that's really what it takes.
You just gotta embrace the suck, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I mean, that comes down to everything in life. Like, things suck in life, but like once you get over it, it's gonna be so much more worth it. What's the hardest the hardest part about being on the pre-med track, bro? Would it be balancing that in your social life? Would it be the actual like material you have to memorize and learn? Like, what's the hardest part?
I mean,
of being on the pre-med track.
So to be honest, I haven't taken my MCAT yet. So typically kind of to give you guys a little background. So as a pre-med student, you have to take all these classes. For example, you take bio classes, Gen Chem, you take OChem, you take physics, and then you have to take the MCAT. You have to do all this volunteering and all this clinical work on the side. And I'm only in my third year, so I don't have the exposure to the MCAT to give you guys that advice. But to be honest, what I have gone through, I've gone through those series of classes, and I'm on my way out. I just have to wrap up some physics classes and some upper divs. But to be honest, some of those classes get really difficult. I remember when I was coming to UCI, I was talking to an alumni who was in our frat. He was telling me that your winter quarter of your second year is going to be really hard. And like ever since I was a first year, I would just keep dreading that winter quarter of my second year. And that second year is where you take, that whole second year, you take OChem, you take OChem labs, and it's like you're balancing that with bio classes. So to be completely honest, like it took a lot of work to get through that. And these guys will see me like be active in the frat, like hang out with them. But then some days I'll just ghost for a week, and I literally just start growing a beard and like just be like a I go to Gateway till like 3, 4 a.m. almost like every day, and it's just like it's a second personality I have, you know. So I have like one personality where I'm like this. People would say I'm outgoing,
Outgoing,
like,
extroverted.
Exactly, but like
Brings the
I have this
energy.
other personality where when I tap into my pre-med side, I'm just like fully locked in. Like I cannot focus on anything that happens outside of that pre-med life and like studying, you know. And I would say that's definitely helped me a lot, having that second personality to really tap into at times.
That's crazy. Do you think having like, I don't want to say multiple personalities is like a bad thing or a good thing? Because I've gotten that too, but at the end of the day, like why would I want to be, I mentioned this in the other podcast, I'm not going to really tap into, but why would you it's kind of like not boring. Like I was a 4.0 student in high school. Like I'm telling you, like I was top of my class. Like I wasn't valedictorian or anything like that sort, but like I had a unweighted GPA 4.0. I had never seen a B in my life till I came to college. And I've just embodied this persona of, all right, entrepreneur. I'm in my frat or like whatever, live it up. And like, you know, like business, like that's kind of what like is meaningful to me. And for you, it's crazy because like you do go through periods in time where it's like this guy will grow a beard and I'm like, oh, midterm season? And he's like, yeah, midterm season. And then there's periods of time where I don't see this guy and it's like, all right, he finally was able to come out after like 2 weeks of, that's how it was last year.
Yeah,
but I feel like this
year.
quarter, yeah, it was more last year.
I took a lot of classes this summer, so this quarter is free. But I remember like winter and spring, it was pretty bad. Like, I don't know, just like, well, the issue I had last year is that I didn't really have much of a balance. I'd kind of like indulge in like that social life too much for like 2 weeks, and then I realized, oh no, I have to catch up. I need to spend a week on this, you know? So I would not recommend that to you guys out there.
He's a master procrastinator. He's a master procrastinator.
And to be honest,
I've never seen somebody like that. Like, it's
really,
crazy.
What really helps out is the quarter system. Like, if you're going to a semester system school, you have, like, more weeks of content to memorize before that final, and, like, quarter system's just 10 weeks. So if I'm behind 2 weeks, it's probably just, like, 6 lectures I have to memorize. But I don't know. That's a whole different spiel. I can go into, like, that school stuff for hours and hours, but...
How do you deal with burnout, bro? Like, what's
Dude,
your
honest,
method to get over it?
There's really no way to deal with it, but just to keep pushing. I really don't know what to say. There were times when it was 2 a.m., my midterm was the next morning at 9, and I was like, wow, I have to, like, watch these 2 lectures and memorize this and this and this, and it's like, you really just don't have a decision. You can't sit there and really think about it. You just have to keep going. Like, at times, my heart will just be racing, and, like, I'm just like, what do I do? At times, like, to kind of give you guys a little background, I have this, my best friend's name's Forrest. I met him also. He's in our pledge class as well. This guy and I have taken every single class together. Our second year, we lived literally a room away, so I could really lean on him when I was kind of like struggling, felt the burnout at times, but he definitely was a big one. Forrest really helped me out. But like I said, like you really don't have a choice. You have, as a pre-med student, you have to have above a 3.7 GPA, and it's like you have to be solid from quarter to quarter to quarter. You can't take a quarter just to tap out. Like you have to really just like show your game. You know, it's pretty difficult. It's harder to say on the mic. You have to really like.
Does the burnout like stem from just your major and like the courses you're taking, or does it stem from like extracurriculars also? You know, because there's one thing being like socially burnout, and there's one thing being academically burnout. Like for example, let me tap into this for a little bit. I mean, for me, you can get into this like a little bit later, but I was a little bit more tapped into the frat my first 2 years in terms of like leadership roles. I was like recruitment chair. I tapped into this on an episode with Abraham. And then now I'm like kind of on my way out. I'm just like, all right, like having my fun here and there, like kicking it with like a lot of the older guys or whatnot, like house bros, people that I'm close with. But, you know, there's periods in time where it's like, dude, I do not want to go out, you know? Like I'm like, I would much rather like, you know, just be a grandpa and like take a chill for tonight. It's another thing too, like at least for my major, like you talk about taking OChem and like, for example, like accounting and stats. Like people say accounting is the OChem for business majors, and like those, like at least for me, like academically, like still able to get my way through it, but it really did suck in the moment. And then another thing too is like I've told you this, like even just being here, like being this persona, like having to post, because you were last year when pre-75 hard, when like I was down in the dumps and like I wasn't happy with who I was. You were like, bro, you need to be posting every day. Every single day, and like that itself isn't a job too. And like I get burnout from social media, so not only am I like an entrepreneur and have like the back end business things with like my manufacturers, having to like deal with my money. All right, this is my budget, this is what's gonna go to marketing. Not only that, like coming here to film a podcast, like I get burnout from different aspects, whether it be the frat, school, friends, family, but like, you know, the pursuing of my persona online and my own personal image, my own brand image, like it's a lot to deal with, you know? And like, I'm pretty sure you can relate to it, even though it might be completely different. Like you just kind of got to get it done, especially the times you don't want to. You get me? Like I gotta post that video even when I don't want to. The way I like to think about it is like lottery tickets. If lottery tickets were free, you take in a limited amount. It's the same thing with posting, bro. All it takes is one post to change your life. Ismael posted consistently, was until like day 40 over summer. Hit big, 6 times his following, you know? So back to you, like how do you deal with burnout in terms of like, it could be from school, it could be from the frat. Like I know you've taken up pretty big leadership opportunities recently, and like it's kudos to you, bro. Respect.
I mean, like I said, like when you're just sitting at Gateway is just a library that closes really late. When you're sitting there and you realize you have all this stuff to do, you really just don't have a choice, because what's different about the pre-med track and the business track is that, sorry about that, the pre-med track is like the map is set for you. You just have to follow it. You have these classes to take. You take the MCAT. You have to take this. You have to do these extracurriculars, and then you can apply. For Jay, it's completely different. He has his brand, and whether he wants to wake up today, the next day, and like give 100%, that's on him. He doesn't have an exam date where he has to prepare towards, you know? So it's completely different. And the pressure for me is like I have these dates I have to build up to. For him, it's like he can wake up tomorrow or he can wake up the day after. He can not feel motivated one day. He may feel a little bit more motivated the next day. It just is like, the pressure's fully on him, you know? And there's no, you know, there's just like a track for pre-med.
Yeah.
So it's very different lives, you know? But for you, I know like the one thing that's holding you back is just that posting every day, the marketing and stuff. That's just the one, that's why I was telling you that last year specifically.
Yeah. No, 100%. Like I told this guy, like, it is a job, and like for those who have made it, I'm pretty sure like obviously like yeah, they're reaping the benefits, but it's like you kind of got to go through this period in life where you're not reaping the benefits, that you're just, you know, you're just on your own schedule. You got to have your own self-discipline. Like for this guy, the formula is set out, you know, as long as I get A's, I can pass the quiz. As long as I pass the quiz, I can get a good grade. As long as, and then I'll pass the course, and then, you know, I'll be ready for the MCAT. And then once I get into a good med school, I'm set for life. And then this and that. For me, it's like, it's completely on me to, all right, I'm going to post this today. This is the new drop. I need to get customer feedback, like all this type, like everything is just completely on me, you know? And that's what I tell this guy. And like, I try to like relate to him where it's like, bro, like I can't really go out this weekend because, you know, X, Y, and Z, I need to go back home and like figure some shit out. Or like, it's completely on me. For this guy, it's like, as long as he does A through B from Monday to Friday, he's chilling, you know? He can have as much fun as he wants to. For me, it's like a momentum thing, you know? And that's one thing I realized over the 75 hard was momentum is like the key to success, you know? You're not going to see results overnight, but it's just building that momentum to where you're leaning more towards your goals than just, you know, than just setbacks. But I mean, aside from that, I have a new question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
So, are there any health or fitness routines you follow, and do they align with what you're learning in your studies? Nah,
That's
not at all.
No. I mean, like I mentioned before, I'm just taking physics classes. I'm taking chemistry classes, you know, so.
What are your priorities in terms of health and fitness? Like, what are your goals?
What are my goals? I mean.
Like, do you think that understanding fitness will help pursue your future as a doctor? Like, do you think it's a key, or do you just want to be like an unfit doctor?
I think if you're a doctor and you're kind of providing to a patient, the patient wants to look at you as like kind of the god. Like you have all like the resources, and like you kind of have to like, you have to physically kind of be fit, you know? You don't want, it's kind of like. You
gotta be a good role model. Like,
yeah. I don't want to
like basically you don't like, imagine you go to a doctor's office.
Yeah.
And
exactly,
he's
like,
giving you nutritional advice, like, oh, you need to lose like 15 pounds, but then this guy's like morbidly
like,
obese.
it's kind of hypocritical, you know?
It's pretty hypocritical. And like you
hand.
want to limit the amount of hypocrisy that you portray to your customers, you get me? And I've talked about this with you off campus. What kind of doctor do you want to be?
Doctor. So this is a crazy question I actually always get. I probably get it like once a week. And
That's
the most
insane.
simple question, or the most simple answer you could really say, or I usually say is like, it's really just hard to tell right now as a pre-med student. You really won't know until once you're in med school and you're exposed to all these different fields. And then like right now, I can't tell you the day in the life of a plastic surgeon, day in the life of a cardiologist. I can't tell you the day in the life of it. I haven't shadowed them, you know? So I feel like it's kind of, I can't really give you that answer yet, but I know I'm still passionate that I want to go into the medical field, and I know I'll find it then. So, yeah.
All right. This one actually perfectly ties into this next question. What are you most excited about in med school, and what are you most nervous about? Wait, can I low key give my preface of an answer? Okay, so what I think this guy is most excited about in med school is finding his wife.
Okay.
And then what I think he's most nervous about is obviously the academic, the academic part, the struggling.
Yeah, I think you got one of those two right. I think the struggling with the school for sure is something that I'm kind of dreading, but something that I'm actually really excited about, and it's something I haven't told you yet, is I kind of want to go on my own, like 75 hard, not where it's 75 days, but I feel like the whole entire process will be this just like hour to hour thing where it's, all right, these hours I'm studying, these hours I'm hitting the gym. And I feel like something that I'm really looking forward to is kind of putting that like kid self in the past and kind of moving forward and kind of having like a strict schedule of, all right, I'm working out these days. I'm like, you know, I'm just not gonna have distractions, you know? And I think that's a really big key because right now I think I do have the system, but I think there's just a lot of distractions that come into play, which can get me off my gym grind or kind of I'm sleeping late, you know, because I can, you know, I have the flexibility, but I feel like in med school, because there's no flexibility, the social time is pretty much gonna go to zero. I mean, I don't know what med school is, you know, I may just be saying this, but I'm excited to kind of go out there in the real world and kind of live an hour to hour basis where, you know, I can dedicate time to the gym and I know I won't be distracted from it, you know?
Basically building your own momentum.
Exactly.
It's beautiful. I mean, I experienced that over this summer, and like, I mean, now life's a little bit more hectic, but like I said, like I enjoy every era that I'm in.
Because this undergrad experience is really distracting, I'm not gonna lie. It's distracting, you know? You can't slack. You can't spend like weeks just slacking. You have to like, you know, you have to really be on your
you gotta be on your stuff. No, yeah, 100%. I mean, we can get into why it might be a little bit distracting later, but so back to my own guess.
Oh yeah, the wife thing. I mean,
you think she's in med school?
I think I'll be kind of in rooms where she'll be, but I don't know. I feel like I first need to get my life in order, and like I mentioned, in med school, I'll kind of be on that basis where I want to just become the best version. I know that sounds corny, but once I'm there, then I can start thinking about that, but that's kind of like a future thing. But who knows, if it happens there, it happens, but there's no rush at all.
Fire. I mean, we can tap into the fun stuff a little later, but has being roommates with the business major and future gym owner affected your perspective on health and fitness? Like in terms of what?
I mean, so my first 3 weeks of this quarter, it's always difficult adjusting to a new class and like your midterms and what you have to do. And I remember these first 3 weeks of school, I literally did not hit the gym once. I haven't been to the ARC. And every single day, like, this guy would come in my room and just kind of like, blah, 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 like, you got to hit the gym. How have you not hit the ceiling?
This is exactly what I said. I'm like, Cam, this is exactly, like, patting it over here. This is exactly what I told this guy, my exact words. I told him, you're doing great in your classes at UCI, but you're failing your midterms at Pumpn University. This guy would go 3 weeks, or like the first 3 weeks. I'm not shitting on him now. He's been pretty consistent. First 3 weeks, I'd see this guy. I mean, we were pretty busy with like the frat and your leadership position, but at the same time, like I would see this guy playing FIFA for like 30 minutes to an hour.
Like, that would just be like my break.
And then also he's like on paper, quote unquote, co-founder of Pumpn University Run Club, because that was actually like his idea. Shout out Cam. Like he's like, bro, why don't we start? Because we started going to Newport over the summer and like we started getting into it. I'm like, dude, you can go on a 30-minute jog, and he'd be like, no, I'm tired. So I was giving him shit. I'm like, bro, you're failing your classes at Pumpn University, and like, you know, like you're eating fucking fast food, like, you know, like this. I just honestly just like hold each other accountable, because we know we have like deep talks where we know like we're gonna become some shit in this life. And I mean, it was just like self accountability. But now like this guy's re-enrolled to Pumpn University, and like he's been on his shit. So I mean,
and yeah, like having a friend like that by your side, kind of like always just kind of in your ear, like you know he's saying the right things. It's just
somebody's got to tell you it. Somebody's got to.
Somebody's got to tell you, and then he. Eventually, I hit the ARC for the first time a couple days ago. You know, so.
I mean, it's pretty funny because to me, it's the opposite. Like I'm getting A+ at Pumpn University, you know, and like over here in like my UCI business classes, I'm just C's get degrees, you know? Like by all means, like I have an above 3.0 GPA, but I mean, obviously like Pumpn University is gonna be my priority. And when I say Pumpn University, I mean my health and fitness, the gym. And that's like, honestly, like health is wealth, bro. And like, you can't really like replace that.
And to kind of tap back into the roommate thing, like we're kind of each other's gym bros, because for me, it's about balancing that school versus like the gym stuff, and then for you, it's like the whole business thing. So like I'll go at his ear, yo, you need to do this and this. Like, why are you like still in bed at this time? You know, like why are you sleeping this late? And then he'll be in my ear, like, you know, you got to go to the gym. You got to like focus on your well-being. So I feel like having a relationship with someone like that is just really important, you know?
Bro, what I've noticed rooming with you is this guy's a night demon. Like this, I don't know, at the second 8 p.m. like hits and he's done, like he'll like, because one thing I realized over the 75 hard, which is just crucial, and this is a tip for everyone, like if you want to solve 99% of your problems in life, go to bed earlier. And you're gonna wake up earlier, and you're gonna have time to get the stuff you need to get done throughout the day. That's one thing I noticed over the 75 hard. Going to bed earlier and waking up earlier will solve 99% of your problems. And this guy, like, he loves, like, I get it, because that was me last year. Like, this guy, I'm in his ear this year telling him, yo, go to Pumpn University, get your lift in, eat healthy, do this and this and that, let's go on a run. You know, I'm dragging him out. This guy would be in my ear tripping last year, like, oh, like, you need to be posting more, like, you can't be going out 4 times a week. Is this CEO of you? And like, honestly, that drove me into the 75 hard. I'm like, all right, this guy's spitting facts. Like, I need to lock the fuck in. I need to get my life together, you know? I need to lose another 30 pounds, you know? So that was like this guy last year, and this year it's like, it's cool. It's cool. We're seeing a dynamic that I so like dearly needed, you know, and hoped for. And like, it's good. It's good coming from somebody else. And like, that's something I do appreciate. But sometimes this guy like last night, bro, I'm not gonna lie, this guy last night calling me. I'm trying to go to bed at 10 p.m. like trying to convince me to go down and like chat. I'm like, nah, I got shit to do today. I'm sorry. But what's one piece of advice you'd give to high school students or freshman students? Like first years
in
here.
general or like pre-med?
For pre-med. For
pre-med specifically.
And it could be for general, but pre-med first.
I mean, I'm obviously going to give that basic talk of the balance aspect. Yeah, when you come to school, you know, you're excited to meet all these different people. You're in the dorms. You're constantly being distracted, meeting these people, going to the dining hall. You have a lot of new things to kind of figure out. But I would say do not slack with school, because your GPA and the grades you get that fall quarter, that winter quarter, they kind of lead on all the way to when you graduate. So please do not get complacent with that, especially if you are pre-med where your GPA really, really matters. I would say that's very important, but I think it's good to spend your first year kind of getting your life in order for sure. And then, not life in order. You should spend your first year kind of adjusting to everything. And then starting your second, your third year, start looking into like extracurriculars. So something that I did, I spent my whole first year focusing on school. And then like, for example, my first quarter, my second year, I added research. My spring quarter, I added like volunteering at the hospital. This fall, I started a club at UCI, you know? So I would say, spend that first year really trying to get that school down, understand how the campus works, kind of make your old friend group and everything. Starting your second year, start adding one thing at a time, you know, for your extracurriculars. And then starting your third year, once you're going to be turning 21, that's when you really have to start thinking about your future and what your life is outside once you graduate, you know. And it gets real, you know. That transition to second and third year is not a joke, you know. So yeah, I would say just make sure you're prepared for the future as much as you can.
I'd say even for me, like first to second year is like marginal difference. It's like I'm not gonna be that complete little dipshit I was first year, but then second year comes and you're still like around the same people. Everything is still so new, especially like living in the frat house. Like, you know, it's still so new. Like living in the dorms and then the frat house is like, whoa. Now that we're third years, that jump is like, whoa, like damn. You know, it's eye opening. It's eye opening. But I just want to go on to ask you, like, do you credit the frat to like being successful? Like, would you say the frat has helped you in terms of your pre-med career?
So this is actually something I tell like a lot of rushies. Rushies is basically someone who's like kind of checking out the frats, because one of the things they'll always mention is just how difficult. They ask me, Cam, how difficult is it to balance like school with this frat life? And I literally would tell them, you know, like it's not easy, but it's definitely possible. And I'm telling you, when you were spending a whole week on school, Monday to Friday, you're studying, you're going to research, you're doing X, Y, and Z. The second the weekend comes, you want to have those friends to rely on to kind of put school away and just kind of, like talk for hours, just kill time, make great memories. So I would say definitely the frat has helped me out because I feel like had I not had joined it, especially for UCI, I wouldn't have met a lot of the great people I've met. And
role models, like older bros who like help you with like professors, classes, even just like, I don't know, just helping like,
I don't know, like just
helping like
really with
you.
anything. Like for example, my big bro, he's gonna apply to medical school soon, and I call him till this day about what classes I should take, what I should do, should I apply to this job or this job. And it's just nice to have someone older. And I remember in high school, I barely even knew the guys a year above me, 2 years above me, So the frat definitely helped me out in terms of making those connections with people who have graduated now, and even it's introduced me to people like you, who is someone who's completely different from me. And I feel like had I not joined this frat, I feel like I would not have seen. I don't think this would have happened, So people always say like,
opportunity,
fraternity, like it's you kind of pay for friends, but I think specifically for UCI, I think it puts you in rooms with people who are similar. But yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. Cause like same thing with me for my business is I came into UCI like, all right, I'm gonna try to maximize and grow my entrepreneurship. And I mean, the frat has provided that. Like, sure, like I do have a couple guys in biz admin that do help me with like professors' classes. For example, my roommate, my first year, we took the same like classes, we're in the same major. Like it was pretty lit. But at the end of the day, like I joined because I mean, I guess our fraternity is pretty known for being jacked or went out. Like a couple cool guys, good guys, Marvin, my roommate, like insane specimen. Same thing with like our alumni who like models for my brand now. And it's like, shout out them. Like, like I joined for a completely set of different reasons, yet it all worked out in the end. And now it's like, I'm able to bleed into this guy's life and like help him improve our stuff. Like even like, for example, like your roommate last year, like he's always like, bro, like he got pretty big,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, dude, honestly, like it's a help me help you system. And like, I'd say like send it. And the only thing you gotta like low key be worried about is FOMO.
Oh yeah.
I'd say that I know that's mine and you's biggest. Like this guy, like I was on the 75 hard over summer and he hits me up like, yo, come to hard summer. I'm like day 30 locked in and I was just like, dude, I can. He's like, bro, I'm not going unless you go. Trying to guilt trip me and shit. But you just gotta like, at that point, you just gotta like, you gotta know and like he knows. You gotta have like friends who are understanding of each other's lifestyle and like, you gotta surround yourself with those people that like truly do understand and like see the vision. I feel like people are now, would you agree that like people are now just seeing like my whole vision with like Pumpn University and the personal brand? Like I feel like, dude, like I mean, like
people still probably remember the past, Jay, and like still kind of trying to tug onto it. But
yeah, I know, but like they're starting to see like a little bit more, But I mean, it's kind of funny, like, bro, how's it feel rooming with probably the most known guy at UCI, bro?
Most known guy at UCI. To be honest, I don't disagree with that. This guy is all over Yik Yak. He's all over. I don't know, even like I was wearing Pumpn U at the gym one time and someone came up to me like, oh, do you go to Pumpn University? And like he tried making a joke. Like people who I don't even know, he doesn't even know.
Yeah.
Like everyone kind of knows him. I was even at Trader Joe's and like I was kind of like taking, the lady was like just kind of talking to me about it. And then like I think she was, yeah, I heard of it from this person. It's just like, it's kind of like a known Irvine thing. It's kind of funny. And like being his roommate, I don't know. It doesn't really faze me at all that. But it's just kind of how it is.
I feel like we've just been accustomed, or at least I've been accustomed to like the hate, like the slander. Like for example, like me and this guy like crack up over like the fact that like most of my posts, even this last like episode 6 where I talked about my belly button piercing, I got more sends than likes, which is goated because at the end of the day, I just want engagement. If I have 200 people watching my podcast, that's 200 people eyes on me. That's a whole lecture hall, I've already have their time and attention. All I need to do is just influence him and like not manipulate it, but like, the book, How to Influence, you have it, How to Influence Friends and yada, yada, yada. Like what it is essentially is like, all right, I already have your time and attention. Now I just need to influence it. Obviously take everything with like a grain of salt, but like obviously to like transition it into like sales. That's what it is converting. And I'm just playing the long game. Like I enjoy this. I enjoy waking up today and like I had lecture in the morning, but this is what I literally like was anticipating, what I've been anticipating since like the beginning of June. You get me? Like, damn, that talk that me and Cam are gonna have, like, it's a little sus, but like this is literally what I would had in the works. Like, I would have sleepless nights over like yapping in my head. What am I gonna talk about? Like, oh, this and this and that. Like, and now we're here. So like, time does fly, but it's crazy. Like, I mean, I know you out of all people, he's been one of the people who like has seen it, and he's like, you know, whatever you do, like I'll stand for it. I see it. Like he knows, but it's just a matter of time. It's kind of crazy because like I joke about how like this guy isn't gonna see a cent till he's like 28, like in a clinic or whatnot.
Oh my God,
and then I'm
does that.
I'm gonna be making his yearly salary in 1 month, and that'll be like my worst month. But
yeah, he always makes those jokes.
I always make
It's
those
hilarious.
jokes. I know. And like when he's trying to get me to go out to like some little like bar in Newport, I'm like, bro, like there's levels to this. Like just wait till like we're at XYZ's listening party in like LA, like invite only. Like I don't know. Like we give each other perspective, and our lifestyles are very different. But I mean, at the end of the day, you can take a lot from somebody's life. Even like our friends, for example, that are like engineering and like so many guys that like we respect their lifestyle and like their decisions is just different. That's one of the beautiful things you get out of like being in a fraternity.
You just kind of encounter with a lot of people who you did not know you were similar to, even though they come from very different backgrounds, different majors, you know? Like this guy and I, we're on paper completely different people. And if you even meet us separately, we're completely different people, but I don't know how we have this kind of bond, and that's just kind of what a fraternity brings you. You don't really expect these relationships to come through.
Bet. All right, real quick. All right, let's get into the fun stuff. What's your favorite core memory of me first and second year? I guess if you want to throw in this year too, I mean you can. Like core memory, like I know this is gonna like I might regret this later.
Honestly, like there's so many memories I have with this guy that I have to kind of think about it, but
bro, for me, second year
second year for sure was Vegas, for sure.
For sure was
We just
Vegas,
stayed up
without
all
a doubt.
night, walking through the strip, just having too much fun.
A lot of fun. I had a great time. No, yeah. I wasn't even gonna go. Like.
Oh
Okay,
my
let
God,
me
yeah.
let me preface. Okay, let me preface. So, basically, I mean, basically we have our Vegas formal, and long story short, I wasn't gonna go. I didn't feel like it was worth it for me. I didn't want to spend a bag, and like I already spent a bag like last year, my first year. I was like, I've already experienced it. I don't really have a date like lined up for me. This and that, yada yada. This guy's like, yo, I'll cover your part. You just have to go with me. So this guy, like, we take my car, he covers my part. Like, that's a real fucking bro right there. All right, because he so badly wanted me to go. He literally offered to like cover my part, and I'm like, wow, all right. If he's offering, then I can't take that up. And honestly, like, shout out to this guy because that's like one of those trips I'll never forget.
Yeah,
and
that was
like
an
we
amazing
like
trip.
we look back at it now, and it's like, wow,
To be
shenanigans.
honest, that's an amazing second year core memory, but first year I really don't remember. Like, it kind of seems like just kind of in the distance, like it's kind of all hazy. I don't really remember much.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really remember much from first year. To be
Oh
honest.
my god! Wait! Tell him first year Vegas why you pulled up so. Why you pulled up so late? It was literally because of Premed.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
So
Like this guy was dedicated.
Oh my God, yeah. So I had a midterm at I think 4 p.m. I had like 2 midterms back to back, and then I was just kind of studying for them. I took it at 3 p.m. Then I had one at 4 p.m. and then I'm ended at 5. Then I'm like trying to organize like the car ride with my date and then my best friend and his date, and just like we ended up getting to Vegas at 12. And then next thing you know, like just shut down, and then it just like crumbles from there. And then I really didn't even get to see our first year Vegas, but yeah.
No, yeah. Second year made up for it. Don't worry.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it did. What about third year, bro?
Third year? I mean, right now it's like week 6, right?
I'll probably be like sometime next year, 2025.
Honestly, for this year, I feel like there's not like a core memory. I think just the little things, like kind of going on runs. Like we started that Pumpy Run Club. I definitely want to tap into that more. I will apologize to you for that. I mean,
This guy owes me 3 runs. Hey, you should just match my half marathon.
Oh my, this guy
That's
ran
a-
literally 15 miles yesterday.
Bro, it was
Absolute, like, I don't know
Yeah.
how you could just do that, but
I don't know. Like this is quick sidetrack, but no, yeah, I don't even know how I ran that because it was after a 2-week Halloween weekend bender because Halloween for some reason landed on like the most awkward day this year. So it was like, do you celebrate the week before or like the week after? I was like, why not both? All right, there's Sunday hits. I don't wake up till 2 p.m. and I'm like, wow, like I have not done shit this weekend. So I'm gonna go for a quick 6 bomb. Like, I just zone out. I'm back at the house an hour later. Like, all right, that was pretty easy. Chug some water. I'm like, I'm low-key on runner's high right now. Like, I don't want to ruin it. So I'm going. I don't know. I'm going to do another 6. half marathon's like 1.1 more. Long story short, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna commit to 15 miles, and like I ended up doing it in like 2 hours and 20 minutes. The first time that, like, keep in mind, the most I had ever done was 7 miles, so I doubled it and added another mile on top of that. I don't know.
This guy doesn't even run. Like,
I don't run.
It's just such an abnormal thing to hear.
I feel like my goal, because everyone, like, this goes back to the, are you high bitter? And I'm like, bro, I just live my life. I chase dopamine, natural or not, you know. I try to stay on the, like, the expensive dopamine, the one that's actually gonna reward you. Like, I'm sore. I'm so sore right now. Like, it's not even a joke. Like, my legs, like my joints, my knees, like, it hurts, you know. And I had ACL surgery 3 years ago. So the fact that I'm like, I remember 75 hard, I was scared of running 1 mile. On day 75, I ran my first 6. Now I ran 15. I'm like, dude, I think I'm shooting for a marathon next. I just kind of one of those guys where I just want to, like, check out every box. That's what Phenom is, you know? Like, just get it done, you know?
Build up to it, you know?
Yeah, just get it done.
Now you just gotta start prepping.
I just want to be healthy enough to, like, drink on the weekends, you know?
Do you want to do that eventually?
What?
Run the marathon.
Yeah, 100%. I'll take a shooter after every mile. Or shotgun after every mile, honestly.
When would you
know,
want to
people
do it?
do that, right? I've been
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I've been getting a lot of, like, what is it, the New York Marathon? Yeah, a bunch of New York Marathon clips, and, like, apparently hella people are just, like, pretty hammered for that.
That's very funny.
But I think after, like, because I noticed my knees started bugging. Like, mentally, I was fine. Like, my cardio can handle. It's just my body, bro. And you got to build up to it. And, like, my injury in the past, like, the scar tissue was into, like, mile 13. I got to mile 15. I'm like, dude, mentally I'm good, but my body, I know my body's going to feel it tomorrow. So I just kind of had to take it chill. I feel like it's also, like, an ego thing where it's like, if I am CEO, if, like, I am the guy I say I am, I got to put in the work to where it's completely so undeniable. Like I told you, like, this whole dial degenerate thing, you know? Like, what is it? Work harder, play hard. As long as you're working harder, like, life's gonna tend to be great. So that's kind of what I've been on. Like, just kind of, like, I don't have nobody, like no girl's gonna come up to me, oh, you ran 15 miles, congrats. Like,
it's for yourself.
Like, yeah, it's for myself. Like, I, like, literally, like, just mentally out there, it's just proving to myself, all right, I am this guy I said I was. And it's crazy because, like, I've told this guy too, like, everything I've been anticipating from the 75 hard, I've been doing this quarter, you know? It's funny because a lot of people had fun over the summer and I didn't. So now that I come here, it's like, all right, I've had my fun, but even, like, at times I'm like, I always tell this guy, imagine, like, all the work I put in minus the distractions, I'd be, like, 10 times greater. Like, sure, I'm still staying afloat. I'm still completely happy with the amount of person I am. I'm balancing everything. I'm finally getting to experience what balance really is. But it's like, imagine if I was just fully dialed. Like, the momentum would carry, and I'd be like 10 times better than I am right now. But
I think kind of how it works is, like, college is kind of a place where you're faced with all these different distractions, all these different things to do, you know, the FOMO, like you mentioned. But
FOMO's a big one.
I think you have to kind of learn how to adjust to it. And then after college, I haven't lived that post-college life, but I feel like once you kind of go to med school or you kind of go to law school or you move back home, you know, like, the distractions are gone and you fully have control. I feel like right now, especially as a pre-med, I have the leeway to kind of stay up late, you know, spend time with friends. But I kind of know 2 years from now, hopefully, once I am in med school, my life's going to be so busy. So right now, that's why I'm just, you know what, like, I want to look back on college as this time where I was just kind of making all these friends, you know, staying up late, doing all these, you know, fun things, going on these trips and stuff, you know. So that's why I would say I have a little leeway right now. And that's why I kind of, like, I know in med school I'm going to be so busy. That's why right now I'm going to kind of get active, you know, have fun, you know. So
and it's pretty funny because when I want to lock in, I tell this guy, I'm like, bro, when you're in med school, I'm gonna be well off. I'm gonna be on some random island in Greece, and I'm gonna be like, bro, come through. And you're like, nah, I can't. Gotta study. I'm like, well, F you then, you know? Like, shit. But, I mean, till that time comes, here we are. And, like I said, like, I am gonna appreciate every minute, every second. Like, you should definitely have a roommate. Like, it definitely comes with its cons in some way, or, like, pros and cons, like, at the end of the day. But it's an experience I'm never gonna want to change for the world, because when I'm living the life that I want, the luxury of, like, my own home, my own room, taking care of the people I love, like, I am going to look back at, like, my frat years and be like, damn, like, there was beauty in the struggle. There was beauty in that era, you know? Despite its love and hate relationship. Like, honestly, I feel like last year I loved living at the house. I loved it. Now it's like, it feels like, I don't know, I'm getting old. I'm getting old, bro. We are unc, so I mean, at the end of the day, going back to the whole FOMO thing, what do you think plays the biggest part in terms of like FOMO? Like, is it the social events? Is it the girls? Is it what is it? What is it, Calm?
I feel like kind of not being part of that memory, you know, after we debrief about it, oh yeah, this and this happened. But yeah, that's pretty much what the FOMO is. But to be honest, going back to what you were saying about like that whole like living alone stuff, like you can live alone after college, you know. I feel like college is about kind of putting yourself in all these random scenarios and these spontaneous situations and kind of like kind of learning from them, you know. So I would say that's for sure. It's not a bad thing, you know. Get a roommate in college, you know, have your fun, but definitely stay dialed with school. But yeah, after college, life's gonna be very different. I feel like you're not gonna be meeting as many people, you know. I don't know. It's gonna be a very different life. I'm looking forward to a lot in terms of how med school is gonna be, but
That's lit. I mean, shout out this guy because I mean, dude, you probably will get into a crazy good med school.
I don't know, we'll see. Long way to go.
I mean, it's a long way to go, but like you gotta keep the vision there. It's like what, straight A's, like high, like one of the highest GPAs. Like you're on track to graduate early. Honestly, like I said, bro, there's nothing wrong in terms of getting ahead if you can run it. You get me? All right, let's get into some of the Q&A questions. So I posted I posted you a last minute Q&A.
No
I
way
posted
people
last
sent
minute Q&A, so we can get into.
How many people replied?
You'll see right now.
No way.
Yeah.
All right, let's see it.
Hold up.
There's some goofy ones.
It's like loading. It's loading.
Hopefully it's 0 people.
It's loading. All right. What type of music do you like?
Music. I would say definitely growing up, I listened to a lot of rap, but then obviously it's the typical, you know, once you move into college, you know, you're kind of around that. Like that's just
EDM.
kind of all you're surrounded by, and then that's just Like him and I have been a hard summer together. I've been to all these different festivals. You know, it's fun and all, but I kind of got tired of like that whole festival realm. So I've lived that life.
Yeah, I mean, I
with that.
I love it, but I just checked off recently like my last SoCal Insomniac festival. So I've been to Hard, Beyond, Countdown, recently Escape. Been to Coachella once. Coachella's like one I'd run back, but like do it correctly, because I feel like I was just too young to like experience the whole like Coachella experience. But I know you love R&B, bro. Don't lie to me. This guy loves R&B. I mean, shit, I do too. But another question: what do you look for in a girl?
Who asked that?
I don't want to expose them, but I mean. So I feel like there's 2 parts to that question. Girl or wife?
Okay,
That's
so
insane. I think partner. I'd say partner. All right, let's go with partner. I feel like that's the most.
I've actually never been in a relationship before, and I don't really know. People always like kind of, people come to me like ask for advice, but I'm telling them I don't really know what to say. I haven't been in that relationship realm, but to be honest, that's something I'm really gonna think about later in life. Once I have my life together, I feel like as a man, you kind of have to plan your life and kind of be disciplined and kind of get your life in order until you can really start looking into that. And I feel like right now, where it's just in a very experimental phase, you know, it's just I'm not really in that headspace at the moment. But yeah, that wife talk.
I feel like that's crazy because like I've never had a girlfriend too. I've never had a girlfriend either. I mean, I've only like talked to people here and there, but I mean, in terms of for me, I feel like I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. For me, I kind of just get like it's kind of for me. It's like I kind of get done dirty. It's a lesson to be learned, and then for you, it's just like I'm pretty locked into like where I am in life and like my studies, my grades. Which sort of like I'm not really looking. You know.
Yeah, I kind of, and also like I'm gonna be going to med school someday, or hopefully.
Do you want to?
I don't want to keep saying like I'm gonna go like. I really hope I do, but if I do, like I'm gonna be moving out. You know, I don't really want to build something here. Not that I'm not opposed, not that I'm not open to it, but it's just like, I don't know, I feel like right now we're all kind of growing, we're all changing every day, you know? So I feel like once, I know this quote, like after you turn 25, your brain doesn't really change anymore. I think after 25, when you kind of have your life set and plan, I think that's when it's like the right time to kind of be looking out and venturing.
Do you have any alternative goals outside of pre-med? Or like being a doctor? What would you be doing if you weren't a doctor at the end of the day? Where does your true passion lie? if it's not being a nerd?
If I could stop being a nerd and just know that I'll be living a great life, I probably want to be vlogging. I don't know. I feel like traveling is something that I really want to tap into and just, vlog around, bring a group of guys and kind of just, I don't know, like go to England, Spain. I don't know. I haven't really been to Europe, so I think that would be great. But I don't know. I
Is there any people you look up to?
Any people I look up to?
Yeah.
I watch this guy named Nick Nayarcina. I think he's Persian as well. I think he's like half Persian or something, but I watch him. I think he's really interesting. It is pretty degenerate. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be that degenerate. Sorry, Nick. But yeah, definitely, I don't know. I find that stuff pretty interesting because this actually, I didn't tell you this, but when we talk about this in the past, I didn't mention this, but I actually like record literally everything. Like from my first year to second year, I literally just like.
Oh my goodness, this guy is this guy has a whole diary of like.
So like my thought process with that is like I'm gonna record like I remember my first year. If people like would scroll my Snapchat memories, just endless like pictures of anything I do. It's just I feel like that feeling of nostalgia looking back is just like very I love the feeling of nostalgia. I want to look into that definitely more in med school and stuff, but I feel like the whole point of my videos is I just want to look back on them, Even this podcast, like I really did not, I was like, Jay, I don't know if I want to really do this. I'm not really my best version yet to kind of be preaching young, like a lot of people, I would say I'm doing well, but I was, you know what?
I mean, it's more so for us to look back on.
I want to look back on it, feel that nostalgia, maybe show my kids,
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I feel like it's just a great way to kind of pick in my head of what I was thinking about like 20 years ago, So that's going back to that whole like vlogging thing. Like I love just kind of like capturing the moment with the camera, looking back on it.
I'm so bad at that, but it's good.
I realized that for me at least, I really don't have many like baby photos of like on like video. I feel like nowadays you have an iPhone, you have a kid, and you're always like vlogging and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like for us, we were kind of that cutoff, like 2004. Like I don't know. I've really
you think the 2006 kids have more documented?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know, new cameras and stuff, but yeah.
I mean, that's a good way to put it. It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, so.
Hold up.
You're scrolling? Are there that many?
Hold up. I'm trying to find something real quick.
Let's see it.
Oh my goodness. So, the people want you to, would you ever pants beer? Would you? How much would it cost you to hit a pants beer? Like, what would you have to do?
Do you want to tell them what a pants beer is? You're pretty experienced.
I'm not. I have yet to pants beer. It'd probably be neat to offer. Honestly, like I would be pretty sold on a cheap price. But the question's for you.
Would I pants beer?
Would you ever hit a pants beer, and what would it take?
Honestly, in social settings, I'm not the most degenerate guy. There are a lot of guys that are pretty degenerate that just like, I'm not. I don't know. I try to be kind of classy, so I would just say no to that. Simply
no.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's a good question. Honestly, same here. So I mean,
that's cap.
No pants beering anytime soon. Anyways, so
it's a random question.
Yeah, it's a completely random question. If only you knew who put it, but that's pretty funny. But anyways, what are your health and fitness goals? Like, are you trying to chase a certain aesthetic, a certain like do you do it more so for the feeling? Like, I love going into the gym and getting a pump, or like what are your health and fitness goals? Because like for me, I just want to be a shredded sick cunt. That's the end goal, right? I wanna look good. I wanna feel good for my brand. I just want to be as healthy. Like, I feel like one of the only reasons I lift, like, yeah, sure, like health and fitness is like, it does, like you do internally feel amazing, especially with enough sleep and like, you just feel better. You have a clearer skin or whatnot. But obviously, like, I feel like trying to look hot or like being attractive plays a big part, because I feel like attraction at the end of the day, like you have life on easy mode. And like, I talked about this in my last episode, and I don't know, what are your goals? Do you just want to be bigger? Like,
to be honest, I don't really want to be this huge guy on test. I just want to be really like fit, and I feel like I'll kind of achieve that later on once I'm past this college frat phase. But I definitely want to live a very long life, and I think that definitely comes into play. I think like diet is really, I've kind of being around you mentioning like diet. This guy literally brings a food scale to the eatery and will just kind of weigh things. Like being around someone like this kind of makes me feel bad about sometimes some of those things I eat, especially last year even. But yeah,
Mr.
like,
Eats,
even
Mr.
even when I like
Eats.
see Candy and stuff, I'm like, I don't really know. I don't know. Being around this guy, he just is kind of that's what I mean. Like the dynamic we have, he's just always in my head. And, I just remember I'm looking at that fucking candy bar. It's like, oh yeah, Jay's like, oh yeah, that's calories. Or, I don't know. But yeah, I think definitely living a long life, looking great, the appearance as well. I think it all kind of comes hand in hand. I feel like, yeah, like even for professional, like I feel like people will kind of listen to you more and kind of give you more respect if you look great. Yeah,
Think about it.
I think it's kind of like a full like.
But think about it
helps in
from
all
like.
dynamics
Think about
of
it from
life.
like. All right, I'm a customer. Say you're a plastic surgeon, and I walk in, and you're my doctor. Like I want my doctor to be healthy, attractive, young, fit, whatever, all the above, right? Like I'm not gonna really trust some guy who's like, I don't know, pretty sorry. So, I mean, that's definitely like even for the business type of things too, because it's like, I mean, no matter what field you're in, I feel like they're like, all right, if he can take care of himself, then he's gonna take care of me. So
Yeah.
I feel like that does play into a huge part of like health and fitness, and it's also good for business too. So that's that. I mean, yeah, that's one thing you can take from it.
I think it literally helps you in every aspect of life, being healthy.
Yeah. Bro, what's your message to the haters? If you have any.
For me, like
if
haters that I have.
Yeah, say there's imaginary haters. I mean, who knows?
Message for haters.
Or like on my behalf too. Like I don't know. How do
To
you
be honest, I really feel like,
How do you deal with hate? Like that's a better question.
to be completely honest, giving like a response to hate, I always try to be very positive. I feel like always speak like when you were to say, if you were to say negative things, you're just kind of putting negative to the world. I feel like it's really important to always kind of be positive, So I feel like when people kind of come at you with hate, you should only respond to them with positivity. Be like, I hope you're doing well, man. Like,
Because they're coping.
yeah,
Yeah,
like,
they
I feel like if you were to feed into it, you're kind of feeding into that negative energy. I feel like in responding to the hate, you always gotta stay positive.
Yeah.
Simple way to put it.
All right, speaking about hate, do you hate the 9 to 5?
Do I hate the 9 to 5?
Yeah, are you gonna be love living it?
I mean, I don't really have much exposure to it, so I don't know how.
Did you not work at Olive Garden? How were your shifts there? How were
I
your
was a
shifts
server for Olive
there?
Garden in the summer for the first time. That was actually my first job.
How was that, bro?
How was it?
Yeah.
Are we answering the 9 to 5 thing or are we moving on?
It's like the same thing.
Um,
Unless you want to work at
I
Olive
kinda-
Garden your whole life.
To be completely honest, my reason why I worked, money was obviously a reason, but I think it was a great experience. I think every person should serve once in their life. I actually at the time had like 4 or 5 friends who were working there, and they helped me get the job. And honestly, like, it's a very long. It takes a lot of social battery, and I think having the ability to kind of go and be social with like different people and kind of like go back to the kitchen and kind of be hardworking stuff, it really like helps out. It's like public speaking skills when you're talking to people. It's like hardworking where you're in the back, making the soups and salads at Olive Garden. I don't know, like you have to be very dialed, to be very like, I don't know. I think it kind of overlaps in that, like, I don't want to say like that doctor lifestyle, but I think a lot of the aspects from serving can kind of bleed into like a lot of the skills a person should have, So I think everyone should serve at one point in their life. I feel like.
Heck no. I mean, no. It's appealing. Like the pay is good, Like it's appealing.
No,
you gotta
I'm
meet a
not
lot
saying
of
full
people.
time. I'm just saying like
Yeah,
as a college student, why not like for a summer just try it out. But
I love stepping outside my comfort zone. That's that. Like look at my hair right now. Like this is not me. This is the eyebrow slit. Like it's pretty funny. Like whatever. Like I'm enjoying it for the time being. But anyways, like I might to step out of my comfort zone. But like the way I tell this guy, it's like those hours I can be clocking in. Like I feel like it's just short. Like it's just short, instant gratification. Like that money. Unless like depending on your financial like situation or whatnot, like everyone's different. But for me, it's like I'd rather spend that time on my business, my health and fitness. Actually like whether it be like getting my steps and doing an extra hour of cardio that I have out of my day to just like go on a run or ride on my phone, or just have a meaningful conversation with a friend, give you perspective in life. That's gonna ultimately like take you further in life than like those quick like $200 a week. It's going to come tenfold when you become that best version of yourself, when you are that phenomenon. And like I said, like, I feel like I shit on the 9 to 5 a lot, but like you can learn from it. I've worked the 9 to 5 too, like it definitely taught me that that's not what I want to do. But I mean, you take something, you probably gave you perspective, a fire under my ass to like, yo, if you don't want to work this or like live like this, then if you want to have the financial freedom and like time, then then you gotta make something out of yourself. So, I mean, all right, I feel like we talked upon this a little bit out there before we hopped on camera, bro. Okay, so, all right, what are your biggest turn-ons and turn-offs
For
in a partner?
turn-ons and turn-offs.
Because for me, I told you, like, I was telling you outside how, like, I mean, you can maybe answer this. Do you expect your, like, partner to be physically active? Because I told you, I'm like, dude, I think I need a gym girl, a girl in the same industry who, like, relates to me. Because, like, for example, last night, this guy's trying to get me out to go out and eat, spend some money on, like, fast food. I had just bought groceries, and I preferred cooking my own meals. And, like he said, like, I weigh my stuff. Like, if I had a girl who's, like, wanting to go out and eat and get boba, like, each and every day, like, they wouldn't be able, like, they'd probably get bored and, like, leave me or go cheat. But it's, like, they don't relate to my diet. And I feel like even at the house, too, when I'm, like, I do want to, like, weigh my hot Cheetos, you know? Like, people don't see that. And, like, sure, you get clowned on, but, like, at the end of the day, like, people just don't really, like, get it or whatnot. Like, for me, at least, I feel like at the end of the day, I do need somebody in the gym, like a gym rat. Not, like, a complete rat, but, like, somebody who, like, does Pilates every day, like, takes care of themselves, like, is active, a runner. Like, I had this realization over the 75 hard, and it was every time I went on a run when I hated it. And, like, it still hurts to run, you know? Like, it still sucks in the beginning, but when you get over that, like, first 5 to 10 minutes, you're in it, and you just got to see it through. For me, it was, like, I think the Olympics were going on at the time, and I'm like, damn, like, I'm, like, complaining about this 3-mile run. My wife is probably out there, like, training for the Olympics, the next Olympics, you know? Like, that's, like, my standards, and, like, they're way the fuck up here, you know? If I want to be a gym owner, I want some world-class athlete, like, genetics for my kids, you know? So, like, that's the way I think, and, like, that was my motivation for my runs, and even this 15 bomb that I ran, I was like, yeah, this is nothing. This is, like, a typical day in the week of training for, like, my future wife if she's, like, a track all-star, some Olympian athlete. Like, you know, like, I just love, like, physical activity and, like, health and fitness to where it does kind of bleed into, like, maybe extracurriculars or, like, other people's lifestyles rather than them just, like, sitting there and looking pretty. So, I mean, I kind of yapped for a bit, but long story short, one of my turn-ons or, like, kind of musts is she's got to be active. Like, no matter what it is, tennis, XYZ, like.
To be honest with the active thing, I think going into it, I really wouldn't mind if she isn't or is, but I definitely would be active, hopefully then, and hopefully that will kind of motivate her to come to the gym with me. You want to run with me, you know? So that's something that isn't like a make or break for me. I don't know if it is for you or not, but definitely something that I would be looking for is someone who's driven, and I think that is a really big play where they kind of have like a goal in life that they want to achieve. For example, like whether it's dentistry or I don't know, they're just committed to something, you know? But I don't know, man. Like when it comes to girls, I'm just kind of like pushing that thought for later because I don't know. I'm kind of just waiting for that conversation later, to be honest. I'll kind of deal with those issues then. I feel like right now I'm just too young. Even like when I talk to my mom, I'm like, Mom, like, what do you think about a girlfriend or having kids at this age? She's like, you're too young. Like, stop thinking about that, you know? So.
But that's kind of funny because for me, I feel like it's the complete opposite. At least like being a Mexican, bro, you go to like every family reunion, you go to every like family party or whatnot, and it's like, y la novia. That means like, and your girlfriend, like question mark. Like, you know, it's like they're always asking like, when are you gonna get a girlfriend? Like this and this and that. And it's like, bro, at this point, I low key may be cooked. Like I've had this comment with you, like, bro, I'm low key cooked, bro. Like the blonde hair, belly button piercing. Like I have not brought a girlfriend home in like 20 years of living. It's like my family is probably onto like some serious like.
And that's completely
you
fine,
know.
bro. That's completely fine.
No, I know. At the end of the day, but like, I mean. It is what it is, you know. And like, I'm not tripping either. Like, that is something. Like, I don't think that's something. If like I can't even manage running a 7-figure, 8-figure, 9-figure business, and like my loved ones aren't well off, then it's like that can wait until I have my own.
You have to establish
security.
yourself.
Until I have my own security.
You have to establish yourself first as a person, and then that's something you could worry about then. Right now, we're still learning about ourselves. We're still figuring out our future, and like adding a girl onto that would just make things. I feel like a bit more complicated because it's a whole other aspect of life you have to worry about, you know? I feel like we already have so much on our plate and we need to bring those other aspects under control, you know, until you can kind of add some new things.
Facts. Facts. Another question is, what are your thoughts on religion? Are you religious? Do you have any religious like family members?
I remember,
Does that play into a part of like your lifestyle in terms of like pre-med or whatnot? Because like, I mean, I can tap in a little bit while you think of that, because I know deep down, like it's not.
To be completely honest, I wasn't really raised around it. I remember like when I was a kid, my grandpa used to pray. I believe he was Muslim, yeah. But my parents didn't really kind of preach it to me. I never really saw. I don't know. It just wasn't something that I was really exposed to much. And yeah, I'm not really. Don't really have much experience on that end.
On that end, is that something you want to like think about later
I
on
don't know,
in your
maybe.
future? Like maybe, I don't know, maybe your wife kind of introduces to you, or
I'd be open
maybe,
to it.
or maybe, I don't know, you just like push comes to shove, you have like a near-death experience or like some crazy
I don't know,
life-changing experience.
We'll have to wait for something like that to happen.
You have to
But
wait
at
for
the
it.
moment in my life, it just hasn't been something that my mind has been attracted to. Maybe,
Yeah.
well, then I'm open to it. I'm open to anything.
I mean, yeah. I mean, at the
How
end of the
about for you?
day, for me, I mean, Mexican families tend to be like Catholic or whatnot, but I was raised Christian, so I've been Christian my whole life, and I feel like the only reason I ask is because that kind of plays into, I guess, like the certain type of discipline I have. You know, Christianity, like Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and I do believe that He died on the cross to come and save us, and that our sins are forgiven, and it just like you said, like I know we talk about this, like, oh, you have the devil and the angel on your shoulder, like do this, do that, and like kind of like tugging you at each and every
I
moment.
kind of like talk about
And
that stuff as like an example. I don't really.
yeah, it
I
doesn't
know
really
that's
tap into
like-
religion, but like
yeah.
for somebody like me, it's like I do kind of experience like, you know, like the Christian side of like the Christianity side of me, like I know that like we are forgiven or whatnot, but like the times like I am not like my very best. Like I'm not saying it's guilt, but like if you know anything about Christianity, like Satan tries to guilt trip you, you know, like Jesus is like, no, like you're my son, like come to me, and like, you know, and I would love for a Christian wife, so that's one of the only reasons why I asked. But yeah, it kind of does play into effect of like the way I think, the way I was born and raised, and like my ideals, my morals, my ethics. So it's just something I'm very, very curious about you,
I
because
may have to tap into that later.
you should, bro. Honestly, like it's beautiful. If you ever have any questions regarding Christianity, you can, bro. I live 2 seconds away from you, so yeah, that's pretty interesting. Is there anything you're looking forward to? I mean, honestly, this will probably be one of the last podcasts this quarter and this year.
Really.
Is there anything looking forward?
Oh yeah.
Let's just do a quick. How would you describe this year, 2024, and what are you hoping for in 2025? So how was your 2024, and what are you hoping to accomplish in 2025?
I feel like every single year I've been on this planet, I'm kind of edging towards what I really want to be, and I feel like 2024 was just another year where I'm learning a lot. You know, I've gone through my downs, I've had my ups, and I feel like I mentioned before, college is all about putting yourself in these weird situations, and then you end up learning more about yourself in the end of it throughout every experience. So you're kind of just like piling up all these experiences and learnings, and you're kind of like applying them to yourself. So I feel like something I will mention that is different compared to other like 2023, 2022 is that at our age, we're currently about 20, we're about to both turn 21. I think this is basically our last couple of months of kind of being kids, you know, and kind of acting childish in a way.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's pretty crazy to say that, but I think it's now time. We're turning 21, and we gotta really, you know, be strong going at it. You know, we gotta our life's ahead of us. You know, we gotta stay prepared, stay locked, and yeah.
Yeah, for me, 2024 was one for the books, bro.
I was there to see it.
Ups and downs, for sure. But I mean, I kind of like, I just know where my head stands, and like I know, obviously, like what I learned from this year, 2024, pretty much was, you really gotta listen to yourself, spend time alone. You know, for me, it was a lot of time with God, 75 hard. I read the Bible every day. So the relationship with me, myself, like when I look in the mirror, am I happy with who I see? And also like with God, you know? So prioritizing that relationship with God, getting close with Him, and with myself, and like what I know aligns with the true and best version of myself. That's kind of what I learned, you know? I used to be such a people pleaser. I'm pretty sure you'd agree. I would just do whatever it was to make somebody laugh, entertain them, you know, like whatever it was, I was such a people pleaser, and that kind of just like I would not prioritize myself and just kind of kept just self-sabotage, like just kind of like putting what I really knew was best for me, just kind of like pushing it off or whatnot. So definitely, I don't think being selfish, depending on like how you're being selfish, is a bad thing, as long as you know it's your own best interest in mind. And for 2025,
I'm excited to see what's to come.
I'm excited to take over, bro. I mean, who knows? I mean, now, like, no diss to this guy. Like, I love this guy, and like, but we have podcasts on our own, you know? I just wanted to introduce him to the world a little bit, kind of like make him step out of his comfort zone. Kind of goes with
definitely like something new.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine like who's gonna be sitting in that chair next, bro? That's crazy.
I don't know. I'm excited to see where, because my life is kind of like you kind of know where it's gonna go. You know, these years I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna go to med school, hopefully residency, whatever. But for you, it's like every year. You know, who knows? This may be the next year.
Dude, a year from now, I could have my own studio, and
the beauty of it is like you have your own business. You can take it. You can take it to the moon. You know, next year or the year after. But it literally is. I would say it's like 80% up to you and 20% like luck. I feel like, you know, but 80% still a lot. You know, so I'm definitely excited to see where you're going.
2025. You guys will see it happen. But I mean, is there anything else you want to tell the people? I feel like that pretty much sums up our episode.
Yeah,
bro.
I feel like this was just kind of an episode to kind of get to know, I don't know, get the audience familiar with me. I definitely want to come back in the future when I have kind of I have more control over my life. I feel like right now
much more accomplishments,
you know. I feel like right now we're just kind of in college, you know. We have a lot going on. I feel like this is more of like a documenting episode where I'm gonna look back on it.
It's like an intro,
and like
it's like a preview.
Exactly. I think it's something to look back on.
Yeah, facts. Because if it wasn't for this guy, honestly, I would not be in this position right here where I am confident, like have worked on myself to the point where I am, and like all it takes is one good friend, one best friend who really believes in you, one person who can like change your life. No homo, but like just the fact that like this guy has believed in me since even when like people I thought were closest to me didn't or don't, it just shows a lot, and like that's why I'm here today. But other than that, yeah, of course, I know this guy's gonna be doing great things with his life too, and I'm gonna continue to mog him and everything. I just have to one up him, but I mean, nah, it's funny. It's friendly. It's competitiveness, but I mean, at the end of the day, you guys have got to meet my roommate Cam, third year undergraduate students at UCI. He's probably gonna graduate this year. I'll probably drop out after this episode. Pumpn University, uofpumpn.com, on Instagram, What's Pumpin', episode 7s, Persian 2 Chains, JT, out.
Later.